Are you wasting your time and money on inefficiencies in the business? Are sales down and lead conversion rates are low? Are you having problems building or maintaining inventory levels? What does it really take to win in the automotive industry?
Get the cars that make sense for your store rather than just wishing at an auction. So it gives you that better control.
With over 25 years of experience, Daryl the Wolf Steed isn't just another industry voice. He's the guy who's out there solving real problems for dealers just like you.
They'll even say in the Pacific Northwest where you're at that it's a tougher market. It's, it's tougher to find cars. The market's a little bit softer. And in the midst of all this, your turn doubled and your profit's up 75%.
Yes.
The truth hurts only when it should. Are you ready to hear the truths? Daryl is here to unpack the hard truths and the proven strategies that will take your dealership from struggling to soaring. And he is taking it all in the streets, with real talk, open dialogue, unfiltered conversations. This is the podcast series, Street Smarts, powered by Smart Wolf Consulting.
What's going on, everybody? It is Friday, the 27th of December, and we're live on a couple different outlets, channels, things that make sure to wrap up 2024. It is the last week. We have till the 31st, so 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. We have 5 days. Wrap up, get things taken care of, everything done, and start that 2025. Give everybody a second to get in, and then we're going to talk about a lot of different things. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that back on. There we go. We'll do, did he blow that thing up? It's 2025. We want to blow up the next year. Really see what we can do with things. So let's talk about 2024. Challenging year. Just got a video this morning. 3 hard questions. New car inventory. It's definitely tough when you think about what we're dealing with. And some brands are having a lot of success. Some brands are not. Some are low in inventory. Some have way too much. And, when you think about that, that's going to influence a lot of different metrics. The big next thing is that leasing's down now. From expected leasing numbers, we're down for the 3rd year in a row post-COVID. And when we don't lease enough cars, if people haven't figured out what that means we're not going to have a lot of used cars. And if we don't have a lot of used cars, then used car compression is going to continue. And used cars is going to continue to be tough to get. And so that's where acquisition comes in. And guys, this year has been a banner year for Smart Wolf Consulting and Street Smart Certified. Street Smart Certified has launched, and we have a couple people on the academy seeing immediate success within 30 days, which is absolutely elating to see that a product has been created that gave people the empowerment of doing it itself, and that we're getting results faster than anticipated. As for Smart Wolf, we have 4 clients that are doing fantastic for the combination of 11 stores, and with acquisition growing, getting consistent numbers. And so when we think about 2024 are you where you want to be? Did you end up, down, left, right? Where'd you end compared to what you forecasted, what your goals were, and what does that look like, and what adjustments are being made? Now, some of you guys may have looked at the title that we're here next year for people, process, pay plans, acquisition, everything used cars. And that's really what we want to talk about today is what does 2025 look like, and one of the biggest challenges. So for those of you guys don't know, Street Smarts is a academy all about acquisition, trade-ins, getting those vehicles into your store and that consumer experience. It's got a walk around in it that is industry leading and has won quite a few different competitions and awards. It also has everything that I do personally, training the stores in the first 60 to 90 days to where you constantly just stay repetitive to that and making sure you get those processes down so that you're well. But when we think about next year, right, and where Street Smarts is going and Smart Wolf Consulting is we've launched a Street Smart series. So we have the Academy. You can sign up. You can have it. We also have a series now. It's 100% free. So those of you guys who are watching this live or those of you guys that watch it back, free, FREE, free 99, dealer's favorite price. A Street Smart series that'll be coming out once a month, maybe once every 2 months, depending on what's going on in life. But is to give you tips, tricks, different things that have made other dealers successful so that you guys can use some of those things and entice you to want to either partner or then get to even deeper understanding with Street Smarts. The first one we have is on January 9th. January 9th, you guys will see it on social media. And you'll see the post on there about registering it. It's absolutely free. You click on the link and you hit register, and then you'll get all the information. We're talking about third-party validation. That is a major key, if not one of the biggest keys to increasing profits in your acquisition strategy. So we're going to go through quite a different view on how to use third-party validation, different tools you can use for third-party validation to empower your salespeople, your buying team, your acquisition team, things of that nature. So January 9th, guys, please tune into that. That is absolutely free. And we're going to be going over some of the things that have made the other buying centers that I have created and helped build extremely successful, as well as the things that Street Smart Certified can offer to you. And we'll be doing one of those, like I said, every month, maybe every 60 days, just depending on the time and what other events are going on. Also in 2025, we're right around the corner. So it's the 27th. So we're less than a month away from NADA. Some very exciting things that are going to be announced at NADA. Some very intriguing vendors out there are going to make some big announcements, huge partnerships, tie-ins, things of that nature. So if you're not going, you guys should definitely book a ticket. I will be doing, we'll be taking it to the streets all through NADA with Smart Wolf Consulting, Street Smarts, doing live podcasts like this. We're going to walk around. We're going to get clips. We're going to see what dealers are doing, what they're thinking about, what they're looking at, and talking about just used cars in general. What's the strategy for everybody? But 2025, let's talk about as we bring in the new year. We have 5 days left. So those of you guys who are scrambling to end the year, okay, let's talk about why we keep doing the same exact thing. We've got 5 days to end the year. The year's over, guys. It's done. It's over. Yeah, you can certainly pull out some Hail Marys or some miracles, things of that nature. But let's talk about how we start 2025 in a better way to where we don't have to do this scramble every single time. Let's figure out how we put the right seeds and we do the right nurturing of our staff and our store and things of that nature so that what you're planting right now is what makes you successful 2-3 months from now. We're not worried about to this month. This month has already been taken care of 2 or 3 months ago. Let's worry about the future. Let's keep building that foundation to keep things going. And that's kind of where I come in, is that an efficiency expert and how to become the most efficient possible for your store and putting those processes in. That's what I can bring to you. But you have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? Are you ready to make a decision? I've had a lot of conversations, and I'm sure that you guys have these in your store and you guys have these in general, is we talk about all the reasons that we're not ready. We talk about all the reasons we can't get something done, or it's not the right time, or we don't have the right people, or the weather's bad, and man, I tell you what, we are great in this industry. I mean, we might be champion status salespeople on finding reasons why we cannot do something, or why it won't work, or why it's not the right time, or why it's everything. I challenge everybody. Let's make a list. Let's write all the reasons down why you can't change something in your store right now, and then write all the reasons why you should. I'd be willing to bet large sums of money when you write all the reasons down why you can't do it rather than why you should. It'll be a longer list. Because we're focused to feeding the wrong wolf, right? We're always focused to feeding that wolf of despair and darkness, right? Like rather than that wolf of hope and action. So for 2025, I figured let's talk about wrapping it up 2024, right? We've done it. We've seen where we're at. We've seen what we did do, what we didn't do, and who's ready to make that change. Let's act right now. Let's make those changes. Whether you want to call me and you want me to help you with used cars, you want to call somebody else, but don't sit there on the sidelines and talk about what you can't do. One of my partners, Vehicle Acquisition Network, Van, they have done something that is incredible, right? We always talk about getting the right people. The Managed Buyer Program, you should ask them about it. It's fantastic. Managed Buyer, when you think about that, they're going to have the ability to solve your people person so that acquisition can be done immediately so that you can get right to it. You don't have to worry about finding people, things of that nature. For the right store with the right setup, they can take care of the people problem for you, right? That's the biggest excuse, the biggest challenge, right? Some dealers, it's an excuse. Some it's an actual challenge is I can't find the right people, or who do I hire? How do I hire? Or whatever I may do. Well, when you think about that, okay, that's a big challenge. They've been able to solve that for some dealers. I've also got another class or session that's coming out on exactly how I interview and hire people for sales and acquisition. And I would be shocked if any of you guys have seen anything like this. So for those of you guys who haven't watched or listened to what I talk about or what I do for stores, I do a lot of things based on process, orientation, consistency, but most importantly, psychology. The psychology of how people act, react, and put forward towards their goals is really important to understanding how you're going to hire people. And so there's going to be something coming out. So keep an eye out for that, of like how to interview and hire the right people using a completely different strategy. Because as some of you may know, going into 2025, we have a much younger workforce coming in. And with a much younger workforce and not having we'll call it the old school gift of gab or salesmanship that just came natural to some people, you're going to have to lean on training and developing more than you ever had before. And with training and developing, you really need to make sure that you're not having people doing training and developing in your store that have not or don't understand how to have conversation, or train those people that don't have the same fundamentals or the same triggers to action as you might. Is understanding how to talk to Zennials and Gen X and Gen Alpha and Gen Z. When you start thinking about like, okay, the person that when I came into the car business, and you're talking about Gen X, is how we got trained. If you tried to train that same methodology, that same word track, that same conversation to a Gen Z person, they would quit on you in a second. And you have to ask yourself, when we're talking about that, we always say like, well, there's, the talent pool is not good. It's not great. We can't find good people. Well, that might be the case. That might be. I refuse to believe that. I actually believe that there's plenty of great people out there. We don't have the right leadership in place, and we don't have the right training in place to give those people a chance at being successful, because we want to keep it the way it's always been rather than moving forward into a different, not better, not worse, different way of doing things that can be equally as, if not more effective with a younger generation. But that takes training and development. You can't just magically say, hey, I'm going to go and do this, I'm going to do that, and think it's going to have any type of success. So when you think about that, what does training look like in your store? What does development look like in your store? What does hiring look like in your store? What is interviewing looking like in your store? These are all processes that can be put in place that put you on a better path to success. And so with 2025 coming up, guys, let's make sure we take this last week, okay? And we do what we need to do to act, not think, not overthink, not ponder, and not give any type of air or life to the wolf of despair and darkness of why we can't do something, it won't work, can't pay for it, can't afford it, can't do. Let's get done with the can'ts, okay? Let's start with the cans. Okay, what can we do? When should we do it? How quickly are we going to do it? Right now sounds great. Today sounds even better. Because the moment we make a commitment to that and we do it, okay, notice I have not said the word, and now we're going to say it. It's like a cuss word to me, but we're going to say it. The word try. Try is a thought. It is not an action. You cannot try to do anything. I know everybody wants to argue about this. I'd love to see the comments, good and bad, on this. I'd love you to try to do anything. You can't. It is an actual thought, but it can never be an action. I want to try a new food. The moment you put it in your mouth and you chew it, you've done it. So you can't try it. Okay. There's do and there's do not. Yoda got it right. If you didn't see my ebook, okay. Little green guy, he got it right. 1980, Star Wars. Okay. There's do and there's do not. There is no try. And so let's stop talking about trying, because trying is one of those thought process. We want to say it so that if we fail, we can say we tried. Let's not fail. Let's just do it. Let's make a commitment to it. Let's sell out to it, right? Let's really make sure we're doing things the right way. When you think about it, right, is you hear the music kind of like in the background. Is, you know, kind of put that groove back into your store of like, what are you doing, right? When people come in, do they feel it? Do they feel that energy? Do they feel like that where you're going? Or do when they come in, feel that agony, stress, that anxiety? I mean, no one wants to work in that. People want to work in that place that's fun, that kind of gets that groove, they can make money, they've got that hope, they've got all that energy. It's going, right? You can be that person in 2025. All it is a choice. It's a simple choice. Let's do it right now. Okay? That's how simple it is. I'm going to do it. And then just keep your word and do it. See, that's the thing, you know, with me, Daryl Steed, Smart Wolf Consulting. Okay? If I give you my word, when I say I promise, you won't see me make a lot of promises, because once I do, time, family, anything else, if I make a promise, I'm going to fulfill that promise. If I make a commitment to you, that's a very different thing. I'll make a commitment to get you to where you need to be. I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm not going to sacrifice time with my family, but I'm going to make all my time that I have for my business to help you. I want to make a promise and fulfill it. Either way, I'm giving you a commitment, and I do. I'm gonna be successful, which means that you got to be successful. The moment you start to fail, then I'm going to have to obviously work a little harder to get you back on track, because you can't fail. Failure is not an option. When you go all in, you have to be all in. This is interesting. For those of you guys don't know, most of you guys probably know, is that I play poker. And it's kind of a cool phrase. Like, no one ever talks about their big wins. They never talk about like, oh man, I clutch or anything else. Or they only talk about the big wins, I should say. Never hear about their losses. Now, when you think about that, you're like, man, why does everyone always win at poker? Because if that was the case, why wouldn't anyone play? No, but when you, like, as I thought about that, I was like, yeah, why don't anyone talk about their losses? We don't need to talk about our failures. People just assume they're there, and they're probably right. Let's talk about our wins, because let's focus on the positive, and let's not give any energy to the negative. Everyone trips. Everyone makes mistakes. But when you make a commitment and you do it, today's success is inevitable. Mindset to be successful and to win, you just have to decide whether or not you want to do it. And I want to be there to help you win. 2025 for me, it's going to be the biggest year for Smart Wolf in the last 5. Going into my 5th year as a consultant. And each year has been better. In 2025, I anticipate, I'm going to make it happen. It's going to be 2 times better than 2024 was. See, it was that simple, guys. I made a commitment. I said it. Now it has to happen. It means I got to sell out to it. I got to make a commitment to making this happen, and which means I've got to find some of you guys that need a little help, want a little help, and we're going to do this together, and we are going to have a magical 2025. So as you guys are watching this, if you watch it on replay or you guys are watching it live, I always appreciate anybody that jumps on live. But it is Friday in the middle of the day. Some of you guys are probably selling cars. Some of you guys are probably sitting at home. I'm doing a little bit of both. I've got a meeting here in about 10 minutes, more coaching and getting people up to speed. But, you know, there's a lot of interesting things. Now, if you're going to NADA, we're going to do a beignets and coffee session with Street Smarts over there at Cafe Du Monde. Okay, we're going to do that on the 24th of January. If you're interested, send me a message. Okay? Have a coffee. Let's have some beignets. And if you haven't had a beignet from Cafe Du Monde, woo, don't miss out while you're in New Orleans, guys, at NADA. Life-changing, okay, over in the French Quarter. But think about 2025 as we kind of just segue into that year, right? I won't be back on. Podcast will drop because I have a really awesome episode coming out this week. Should be the one, if I remember correctly, it should be the one where we actually got a customer that sold their car to a buying center. This is the one you don't want to miss. We actually get to talk to a customer about where their thought process was, why they did it, why they buy a car, sell a car, what they think. And guys, just so we're clear, I've got a couple other customers lined up, and we're going to do this in different parts of the country. But don't think just because, oh, this one's on that place or this place, it doesn't apply to me. Customers all typically think the same exact way about dealers, so it's a great way to get some insight to figure out what you need to do and what's important to the consumer today. So as we wrap up 2024 and we roll into 2025 with a little bit of that balance, okay? You want to ask yourself, right, as we're talking and as we're going through things, okay, make a commitment to making a change for your people. If it has to do with used car acquisition, let's get into it. But if you're like, man, I want to train my people to be able to do their job, create a great consumer experience, and you don't have time. You're like, man, I'm just busy. I don't have time to commit to that. Or I don't know where to start, or any of those type of things, okay? Let's not make those excuses, okay? Daryl Steed, right here. I'm in here. I've got 2 different websites, guys, so it's easy to find them all over social media. You've got www.autostreetsmarts.com for the Academy and the Genius Group. And then you've got www.smartwolfconsulting.com if you want to send me a message. And then any social media aspect out there outside of Snapchat, because I'll be 100% honest, I still can't figure it out. But YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and now we're on TikTok. But nope, got to give you some bad news. There will be no dance challenges on TikTok for me, guys. But let's train your people. Let's make them the focus. And let's ask ourselves that really interesting question. What would happen? What would happen in 2025 if you sold out to developing your people in your guys' business? Sold out. You treated them more important than any other mission in 2025. What would that look like? Have you ever done it? Have you ever thought about it? I would be willing to bet large sums of money. I'm a gambler. And I'd be willing to bet large sums of money. If you sold out to your people, to developing them, training them, and getting them to the point that they felt confident in anything they're doing, that you would exponentially raise the profits of your company, whether it be sales, service, or a combination of both. Because I know, as the stores that I go in my experience, and just industry-wide, what all the studies have shown is training is the least most important thing for our time. So let's just, let's be outside of the box. There was a clubhouse today. Shout out David Long, okay? Brad Weiss, you guys are great. But there was a clubhouse today, and it was talking about being uncommon and unrealistic. And the common thing is to do what everyone else is doing. And being realistic is, well, this is all we can do. Well, stop being boring. Do something different. Be uncommon. Be unrealistic. Be unreasonable. When people tell you can't be done, how good does it make you feel to prove them wrong? Right? Don't be the person that says, well, that's all I'm capable of. You're wrong. You're capable of so much more. You might need somebody to give you a little push. You might need some help, and that's okay to get help. For 10 years, I refused to take help because it was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. People said it couldn't be done. I'm going to do it on my own. And then I realized, you know what? You don't have to. There's plenty of people out there that want to help you. Okay. No one said that getting help is free, but at the same time, if you get the right help and you get to where you want to be, then there is no real expense to getting the right help, the right situation, the right process. So you guys, as we sign off to 2024 with Street Smarts, powered by Smart Wolf Consulting, we want everyone to have a absolutely fantastic Happy New Year. Be safe. Spend time with your family. Cherish it. Okay? You never know how much time you're going to have, and time's the most important thing we got. And with that being said, knowing that we don't know how much time we have, stop sitting around, waiting around, and thinking around. And let's start acting for 2025 so that we can make a difference in your store, which inevitably makes a difference for your people. Put your people first and make the right changes. Get the right processes, get the right strategies so that you can grow your business, in turn, growing your people's checkbooks or their pocketbooks so they can put themselves in a better place, which inevitably puts you in a better place. This is Daryl Steed with Street Smarts, powered by Smart Wolf Consulting, signing off for 2024, and I'll see you guys in 2025. Have a fantastic day. And just remember, guys, as I turn this music up before we roll out, all
I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.